used to live in a place that makes people panic. I'm not going to tell you where this place is yet, but I lived in a place for 5 years that most of the country, if you say its name, will go, "Oh, that's a bad place. You shouldn't live there. You really should be careful in a place like that." I say it in that voice because it's mostly suburban housewives that say these sorts of things to me. Nothing against suburban housewives that might be out there, all right? But this was a place where people around the country would say to you, "That's a bad place. You really shouldn't live there." But to me, it's the safest place that I have ever lived. It's a place where most of the population does not look like me. I'm about the only person in my building that was this complected, this color complected. And people would say, "Wow, that's really a bad place to live." And I'm like, no. This is a place where people take care of their neighbors. This is a place where I knew every single person on my floor. This is a place where I knew most of the people in my building. This is a place where on our block we got together for parties almost every weekend. And I felt safe. If I came home in the middle of the afternoon, one of my neighbors was having trouble, I could walk him home. If I came home stumbling drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody would fuck with me. This is a place where on the second day that my roommate lived there, someone did fuck with her. Someone stole her purse. But 2 days later, her purse was sitting outside of our door. We took care of our own in this neighborhood. And we lived there because we were poor. And we understood that. This was a neighborhood where you could run a tab at the bodega on the corner because they knew that maybe you were getting paid on Friday. If some of you have seen my other stories, I've told a story before about having to steal food. This was a place that I could go and not have to steal food because they would run me a tab. All right, we took care of our own in this scary, scary place that the rest of the world doesn't really think is a good place. Now, I lived there for 5 years, and I got so poor at some point that I had to move out of that place and move to another place, which is generally seen as a nice place to live. Talk to suburban housewives, and they go, "Oh, yeah, that's a nice town." And in that town, I have been jumped twice. The first time, I was less than 100 yards from my house, and 3 guys were walking down the street. And because this is a nice, quiet, peaceful little town that I'm told is a nice, quiet, peaceful little town, I said, "Hi, guys," and I got punched in the face. I got knocked to the ground. I got kicked in the face. I got kicked in the ribs. All my stuff was stolen. My brand new glasses were broken. All my shit was stolen. It was awful. Less than 3 months later, I'd moved to another house, a new neighborhood, a better neighborhood, closer to downtown. And I'm 100 yards from my house, and a guy rides by on a bike. I see him go by. He turns around behind me, and as I turn around, there is a gun at the back of my head. And I think this is this quiet, peaceful, all-American town that everyone told me was safe, and everyone told me was better, and everyone told me was good. And for 5 years, I lived in Harlem and never got fucked with. But 9 months in York, Pennsylvania, and I've been held up twice. So I just want to tell everyone, be aware, no matter where you are in the world, of what's going on, all right? And know that panic can happen anywhere, in a quiet little town, in a dark city. All right, I don't want to give York a bad name and give Harlem a great name. This is just my personal experience. But for me, Harlem is a safe space for 5 years. And for 15 months now in York, Pennsylvania, I flip the panic switch a couple times a day. Thank you.